everybody, and welcome back to part 3 of What If Super Bowl Was in My Hero Academia. I'm going to give the intro short. This episode will focus on the USJ attack, which is kind of obvious because the last one had the battle training exercise. That said, please hit that like button if you enjoyed the series and want more. I know you might be disappointed that this is taking up a slot in my roster and want other series to happen, but they will happen in due time. I'm just doing this for fun, people. Please don't stress out. Just enjoy what I make. And yeah, you can always check out other stuff. That said, please hit that like button for more because this series is going to be important. It's not going away anytime soon. And subscribe to check out my other work. That always helps me grow as a YouTuber and stuff. You can also check out my Discord, and you can tell I've had a long day because my intro is not cohesive, and it's the thing I always do at the end of stuff. So yeah, hope you all enjoy, and enjoy that video after that intro. The day after the combat train, the students returned to class. When John arrives at the school, he's swarmed by questions. At first, they're all about All Might, but once they recognize him, the press start asking him more personal questions, both about himself and his father. He answers a couple, dodges the rest, and goes to class. Damian arrives shortly after. This time, the press recognizes him immediately as the son of Batman. He just walks by without answering any questions. "Oh, hey, Damian," says John, seeing Damian enter the building. "Hello, John," responds Damian. They head to class together, talking on the way. Once in class, Aizawa quickly reviews the training exercise from the previous day. He mostly singles Baku and Midoriya out for their actions. "Our next task will decide your future," he says after explaining all that. For a moment, the students stress out thinking that it's another quirk assessment test. The tension seems palpable in the classroom. "You'll need to pick a class representative," Aizawa clarifies. In reaction, many students start presenting themselves as candidates. It seems like all hell is about to break loose, but Ida steps up to the plate proposing a system to select the class representative, which calms everyone down. The class votes, with both Midoriya and John getting 3 votes each. 2 votes, Damian spots. "A tie, huh? How do we resolve this?" asks Kirishima. Ida gets up, wanting to propose a vote between the two as a solution, but before he can, John asks, "How about a coin toss?" "Yeah, that seems like a good idea," says Kaminari. They throw the coin and Midoriya is thus selected class rep, with John being the vice rep. "Sorry that you didn't get the position," apologizes Midoriya. "Don't sweat it, man," answers John. After coming to the decision, class ends and lunch begins. While Midoriya talks his insecurities over with Ida no Chako, John once again sits down with Damian and Maya. "Did you see the paparazzi outside of school today? Crazy, right?" asks Maya. "I'm pretty sure they were members of the press," comments John. "But yeah, it was pretty cool, although they did tend to push a little." "They're just annoying," notes Damian. "Yeah, of course you'd say that," responds John. The alarm sounds and everyone begins to panic, trying to get out of the building. "What's going on?" asks John, starting to panic because of the people around him. "It's the school's alarm system," answers Damian calmly, getting up. "Although everyone acting so crazy defeats the purpose." The school goes into a panic, which is only calmed down because of Ida, who manages to get everyone's attention to solve the situation. Later in class, because of how he handled the situation, Midoriya proposes Ida to become the class rep. "Aw, man, I have as many votes as you. Why does he get to be class rep?" asks John, complaining for the sake of it. "Oh, I'm sorry, John. If that's the case, I'm sure we can work another way," responds Midoriya. "Nah, honestly it's fine. Ida took care of the situation well today. He showed real leadership potential, says John. Thus, Ida's named class rep, with John being vice rep. For the rest of the day, they assign the other class government roles amongst the students, heading home after. After class, the students head home. The teachers gather around the broken gate, with the police there. "Sorry I'm late," says Nightwing. "I was aiding in a third-year training scenario. Some of those guys are very good." "It's no trouble, Richard," says Nezu. "While teaching is your main priority and your main focus should, of course, be to your two pupils, we did ask you here for a particular reason." "I'm guessing the break-in today, right?" asks Dick. Thinking about it objectively, the press has no way of doing such a thing. The only people who would be able to do such a thing are the villains. "Those are my thoughts exactly. I was wondering if you could aid or even lead the investigation," comments Nezu. "I'll do what I can," answers Dick. He then asks for the information from the police and starts surveying the area. He finds multiple DNA samples, which he then sends to Alfred to analyze. The next day of school, while the students go through their regular classes, All Might fights off villains, exhausting his time limit before arriving at the school. At fifth period, Aizawa informs the class that they'll be doing rescue training along with 3 other faculty members at an off-campus facility. The class grabs their costumes and head outside, where Nightwing meets them with the bus. "Nightwing," greets Aizawa while heading onto the bus. "Hey, Eraser," responds Nightwing. He then turns to the students and says, "Okay, everyone, time to get on board." In less than 50 minutes, the class arrives at the USJ, where they meet the Space Hero 13. After some students freak out a bit over meeting her, 13 introduces both herself and the unforeseen simulation joint. She guides the students through the facility, at the same time explaining a couple things about both the facility and herself. Meanwhile, in another place, a group of villains get themselves pumped up. Moments later, when the students reach the stairs leading to the USJ, the electronics in the facility start malfunctioning, as a portal opens up in the middle of the facility. A man covered in hands steps out of it, with what looks like a bird-faced monster following. More and more portals open up across the facility, with villains stepping out of the portals. Finally, the portal in the center of the facility manifests eyes and reveals himself to actually be a man. After a moment of assessing the situation, Aizawa orders both Nightwing and 13 to get the students to safety. Nightwing, wanting to assist Aizawa, puts all that responsibility onto 13. He then jumps into action, following Aizawa in order to assist him. Together they fight off a bunch of villains, taking them down with ease. But when blinking, Aizawa accidentally lets go of one of the villains. The Misty Man uses the opportunity to teleport to the entrance in order to impede the students' escape. "Nightwing, go keep the students safe," orders Aizawa. Nightwing jumps over villain, throwing one of his Eskrima sticks at another one with it bouncing back. "Can't do that, Eraser. It would leave one of us too open," he explains. Black mist appears in front of the students, blocking their path as they run towards the entrance. "There is no escape for you," he says in a menacing yet collected tone. "It's a pleasure to meet you. We are the League of Villains. I know it's impolite, but we decided to invite ourselves into this haven of justice to say hello. And besides, isn't this a fitting place for All Might, the symbol of peace, to take his last breath? I believe he was supposed to be here today, yet I see no sign of him. There must have been some sort of change in plans we could not have foreseen. Ah, well, in the end, I suppose it doesn't matter. I still have a role to play." 13 readies her black hole attack, intent on using it on the villain to incapacitate him, while the students escape. However, before she can use it, both Baku and Kirishima jump in the way. Baku throws an explosion at Kurogiri, trying to take him down, but creates nothing more than a smoke screen. "Did you really think we were going to stand around and just let you tear this place to shreds?" asked Kirishima, confident that they took him down. The smoke clears, revealing Kurogiri unharmed. "Ah, you live up to your school's reputation," he says. "But you should be more careful, children. Otherwise, you might get hurt. Kurogiri envelops the whole class in his mist. Some manage to jump out, others can't, and are thus consumed by the villain's portals, getting scattered across the facility. Above the flood zone, a portal opens and Midora falls into the water. Being attacked by a villain, he's rescued by Tsuyu, who carries him and Mineta onto a nearby boat. In the mountain zone, 3 portals open next to each other, with Jiro, Kaminari, and Damian falling out of the portals. What's going on? Asks Kaminari. Isn't it obvious? Asks Damian and responds. Villains invade this facility. By the way the teleporter was talking, I'd say they brought an army, with the objective of ending the symbol of peace. Villains step out of the woodwork, getting closer to the students. Hey, they're over here! Shouts the Condiment King. Jiro, you need any combat assistance? Asks Damian, assessing the situation. I can use my sonics if need be, but I'd feel a lot safer with a weapon, she answers. Damian summons his katana and heads it to Jiro, summoning his staff to fight himself. What about me? Asks Kaminari as the villains have them surrounded. One of the villains comes at the group. Damian throws a batarang at him, which after a moment blows up. He then jumps in, hitting him back with the staff. Kaminari, you don't need a weapon. You're basically a human stun gun. Use your electricity on them, says Jiro. Tsk. You are his partner. How do you not know he can't direct his abilities properly? Asks Damian. Well, says Jiro as Damian summons a grappling gun and hands it to Kaminari. This should work, but be careful, says Damian as more villains come at them. In the earthquake zone, Bakugo and Kirishima fly out of their respective portals and are forced to fight the enemies around them, but they take them down rather easily, thanks to their combat training and prowess. Both Todoroki and Maya fall into the landslide zone. Todoroki manages to take down the villains around them using his ice with pinpoint precision in order to not hit his classmates. After mobilizing all the villains, they interrogate them, finding out what exactly their objective is and how they plan to achieve it. In the downpour zone, Sato and Tokoyami come out of some portals. They search for a strategic position and cover each other's backs, intent on fighting off the villains there. In the conflagration zone, both John and Megan come out of their portals. Megan gets up and, because of all the fire around her, instantly faints, falling to the ground. John speeds to her side, catching her. He shakes her a bit and asks, Megan, are you alright? Noticing that she isn't responding, he checks her pulse and breathing. It must be the fire, John notes, seeing that as the only variable. Solomon Grundy, born on Monday. Grundy starts as he approaches John. Great! A huge villain, thinks John. Still, if I hit him with all I've got, I can take him out and get Megan out of here. There doesn't seem to be anyone else around here, so this should be easy. Christendom Tuesday, continues Grundy as he sings the nursery song. John sets Megan down on the floor and rushes at Grundy, punching him with full force. Grundy is only pushed back a couple millimeters, which causes John to comment, poop. Grundy looks at John with an angry expression and says, You hit Grundy? Now Grundy hit you. Grundy smashes John into the ground, hitting him repeatedly. That hurt, but he didn't break anything, John thinks after Grundy stops hitting. I can't take this guy down with brute force, so I probably should focus on keeping Megan safe. Before Grundy can start hitting again, John rushes towards Megan, grabbing her and running away. Kid fast, comments Grundy as he follows John and Megan. Meanwhile, in the entrance, the students who weren't sucked into one of Kurogiri's portals, those being Wallace, Ida, Shoji, Uraka, Ashido, and Zero, strategize with 13 in order to get out. 13 orders Ida to go get help, but he decides to delegate the job onto Wallace, who is faster. 13 then attacks Kurogiri using her black hole quirk. Wallace uses the opportunity and, with lightning emanating from his body, zooms past Kurogiri. Kurogiri tries to stop him, but having 13 attacking him, has to take care of her first. He uses a portal to use 13's attack against her, but by the time he manages to recover from her attack, Wallace has already left the door. He teleports away into the center of the facility, towards Shigaraki. Come on, Wallace, go faster! The kid tells himself, pushing himself further. He reaches the UA facility just as All Might left the main building, warning him about what's going on. All Might runs to the USJ as fast as he can, while Wally warns the other faculty members. In the center of the USJ, Shigaraki has been observing Aizawa's movements. Realizing that both him and Nightwing aren't working together, he rushes at Aizawa, noticing his weakness. But before he can get close, a batarang is shot at him, so he's forced back. Damn it, there's two of them. They were supposed to be acting independently from each other, yet they're still paying attention to each other's position, he says, frustrated while scratching himself. Kurogiri then appears, warning the leader of what's happening. Damn it, Kurogiri! If you weren't our warp gate, I'd kill you for this incompetence. The heroes will be here soon, so might as well do as much damage as possible, he says. Shigaraki takes a look at his surroundings. Seeing no one there, he seeks Nomu on Nightwing and Racer. Nightwing manages to evade the first strike, planting an explosive on Nomu. It goes off but doesn't do much damage. The two pros are now forced to fight back the Nomu along with a group of villains. In the flood zone, Izukumi and Tsuyu manage to use their quirks in a perfect combination to defeat all the water villains, flying away. They decide to go see how their teachers are doing. In the conflagration zone, John runs looking for the exit. Eventually, Grundy manages to corner him. John sets Megan down and turns to Grundy in order to defend her, taking a couple steps forward in order to create distance from her. He turns to face Grundy, all while thinking, I can't take this guy on with just strength. My punches seem to do nothing to him. He also seems completely unaffected by the heat, so heat vision might not work. I need to keep Megan safe. That's my first priority here. Grundy winds up for a punch, but using his fast speeds, John manages to evade the attack. He uses his heat vision, pointing at Grundy's tendons in order to stop him from walking, but little after the damage was inflicted, it heals. Kid mean. Grundy angry, shouts Grundy, hitting John again. That kinda hurts. The punch was stronger, thinks John, taking the hit. It also came a lot faster. John punches again, trying to hit Grundy in some pressure points, but it seems to be doing nothing to him. Grundy smashes at John over and over again. He takes the hit, slowly being hurt. Crap, he's too strong for me and Megan can't stand the heat. My only option would be to run, but that means leaving Megan here defenseless. I could grab her and run, but that'd give Grundy an opening to attack us both. I can't do much. Why did I have to get myself cornered? Thinks John, trying to come up with some sort of strategy, but he's panicking. Grundy smashes into John again. John manages to barely move out of the way. Grundy smashes into the ground, creating a bunch of dust. John breathes in, getting the urge to sneeze. He tries to resist, but ends up sneezing nonetheless. He sneezes on Grundy, the stress of the situation unlocking his super breath. The wind pushes Grundy back a bit, a couple meters. John tries to blow again, now knowing how to use his super breath, but Grundy has now seen the move and buries himself into the ground to not be pushed back. Now having a bit of space to work with, John grabs Megan, jumps over Grundy and keeps running, thinking, can't let him corner me again. Running in circles would be the best bet. Wait until the teachers get here. But can Megan hold on that long? Grundy goes after John, saying, Solomon Grundy, born on Monday. All Might arrives at the USJ just as Nomu and the villains manage to get the best out of the two heroes. Nomu grabs onto Aizawa, pummeling him into the ground. All Might's presence reassures the students as the day is now saved. All Might dashes in, punching Nomu with a Texas Smash, pushing him away. Nightwing, mind taking Aizawa to get some first aid? Asks All Might. Okay, I'm on it, says Nightwing, grabbing Aizawa. Aizawa, however, being fully conscious and only having a bloody forehead and a broken arm, wants to stay back to help with his quirk. All Might barely manages to fight off Nomu, with him getting the upper hand for a moment. He'd be in a pickle if Aizawa hadn't just erased Kurogiri's quirk. Some students arrived at the scene wanting to help. This is not fair, shouted Shigaraki, scratching himself again. It was only supposed to be us against All Might, without any support. Kurogiri, get us out of here. I'm afraid I can't do that, Tomo Shigaraki. My quirk is currently being cancelled, explains Black Mist. Right. Nomu, get Eraserhead, orders Shigaraki, wanting to get out of there before things get more complicated. Nomu pushes All Might off him and dashes at Aizawa. Todoroki creates an ice wall in the way, but Nomu just breaks through it, going directly at Aizawa. It's about to punch him in the face, which causes him to blink, but before the punch connects, All Might pulls him off. Bakugo and Todoroki run at the villains, wanting to take them down before they can escape. Bakugo shoots an explosion at them, but Kurogiri blocks the attack, grabbing onto Shigaraki and teleporting both of them away. The moment the portal disappears is also the moment that the faculty arrives at the facility. Nomu, having his orders, goes directly after Aizawa, but another portal opens up around him, teleporting him away too. The villains end up escaping with their main forces, but this also means that All Might can retain a bit of strength a bit longer. The heroes, having arrived, take care of the other villains. They spread out, going to different parts of the facility to make sure their students are alright. Aizawa heads with Nightwing and Snipe to the conflagration zone, where Grundy is defeated by Aizawa just by cancelling his quirk. The moment Aizawa cancelled Grundy's quirk, Grundy fell over. Megan is then taken to the infirmary to get checked out, while all the other students are taken into questioning. The situation is thus resolved with less complications than the main version of events. And that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This video was a bit complicated for me to write. I was in a bit more of a time crunch here because I'm trying to pre-record stuff for my vacation, which I should be on right now. I'm not totally happy with the results. I like the idea of putting Solomon Grundy into the story. I also wanted to divide John and the others. I wanted to put Megan into a situation where she wouldn't be able to do much. Sure, it's a damsel in distress kind of situation, which I don't really like. They're really cliche, but it also gives her the incentive to start working on some heat resistant or something, which might come in handy later on in the story. That said, I also wanted John to unlock his super breath, or at least some power. I was also thinking maybe freeze breath, so that's why I sent him to the fire zone, because opposite of freeze would be heat. And yeah, my idea is the Kryptonian powers mainly manifest under moments of stress, like when his bird was stolen, when he found someone under a car, when one of his best friends was about to be hit by a car. And yeah, that's the idea. I hope the video turned out alright. I'm still not totally sure on where this is going, story-wise. I do have some points mapped out. I know when some things happen that happened in the main version of events. I know when a couple other things happen. I know when the big reveal comes in part 10. But that's about it. I'm working on all this stuff, and honestly I'm stressing myself out a bit. So yeah, a vacation's gonna do me good. That said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like if you want more. This series has underperformed so far, as I honestly expected, because not many people search this stuff or really watch it. People prefer watching what if Deku was this, what if Deku had that power. I find these more interesting, where I mesh the two universes together, and doing that through the lens of Superboy was more interesting to me. I alternatively thought of doing it Superman originally, but thought Superman being the teacher would be a better idea. Yeah, that said, if you want more, please hit that like button, subscribe, which always helps me out, and check out my Discord if you want to ask questions or something. You can also leave comments, which I absolutely love reading. I read a lot of them. I always get disappointed when videos get little comments. So yeah, hope you guys have a fantastic day. Until next time, everyone. Bye!